Welcome to today's episode of the Forecast in 5. I'm your host, Seth Katz. Joining us today is Brian Saenger. Brian is president and CEO of the Rakovich Company, a Los Angeles-based development firm that engages in both new projects and the imaginative reuse of existing buildings. Prior to assuming his current role, Brian served as the company's chief operating officer, general counsel, and also served as its vice president of acquisitions. Previously, Brian was the company's outside counsel when he practiced law with DLA Piper and Pillsbury Winthrop Shaw Whitman. Additionally, Brian is a member of the California State Bar and a licensed real estate broker. Welcome, Brian, and appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, Seth. Appreciate being here.
Okay, let's get started with some questions. The Rakovich Company has earned a respected reputation for reimagining the city of Los Angeles' landscape and prides itself on bringing projects to life in ways that others miss. Can you share more about the company's vision and what makes the organization distinctive?
Yeah, happy to tell you a little bit more about us. So, first of all, we are a mission-driven company. Our mission happens to be to properly produce developments that improve the quality of urban life. And we've had over 40 years of experience in Southern California and in the city of Los Angeles in particular, developing mixed use and historic real estate projects. We've been fortunate to have worked on revitalizing 18 historic buildings, and our experience has given us a unique position and unique view of how to look at and analyze challenging projects and find opportunities that others either miss or overlook. One example of that is the Hercules campus in Playa Vista. Playa Vista, as you may know, was the site of the Hughes Aircraft Company campus during World War II. The long entitlement process of Playa Vista was finished and the redevelopment of the new community was underway. There happened to be 11 former Hughes aircraft buildings that remained, and no one could really figure out what to do with them. The dilapidated buildings couldn't be torn down given their history with the aviation industry. So we decided to pursue the project not knowing ultimately what the buildings would become. We actually underwrote the buildings for an industrial use, but we ultimately appreciated the history of the buildings and believe that others would too. And today, Google YouTube is the largest tenant at the project and has their signature campus inside the buildings where the Spruce Goose flying boat was built.
Helpful to learn more. Well, let's move to the next question, Brian. During your tenure with the company, you've had an opportunity to lead a number of transformational projects that have had a tremendous impact on Los Angeles. Can you share more about what you'd consider the most rewarding project that you worked on and why?
Yeah, I'd love to. I would have to say that the block in downtown Los Angeles has been the most rewarding project for me. The block was built in the 1970s and consisted of a vintage office building, failing enclosed retail mall, and both were losing tenants. The project also had a tired hotel that was going to lose the Sheraton flag. Our office at the time was a block away, and we would walk by the building daily. And it just was a black hole in the middle of the city. It was a full city block. It was 1.8 million square feet, and it just served as kind of a black hole in a kind of revitalized downtown Los Angeles. We thought the project had so much potential given its location in the central business district and given the fact that new residential projects were going up daily in downtown Los Angeles, adding residents and customers. We actually pursued the project for 2 years in an off-market transaction, and we were able to reinvent the 1.8 million square foot project, which does cover that full city block, and we revitalized it into an open-air retail plaza, a modern office building with a rooftop deck, and a top-flight Sheraton Grand Hotel, all connected by an underground passageway to the second busiest metro station in Los Angeles. And I really think that the block symbolizes how our company goes about reimagining, reinventing, and revitalizing projects.
Great to learn more about that project. Brian, you practiced law and spent time with some of the world's most well-respected firms. How do you feel having a legal background uniquely prepares a CEO to lead an organization?
Yeah, my story is a bit unique. When I began practicing law, one of my first clients was the Rakovich Company, and I've been involved in every one of their projects for more than 20 years. Wayne Rakovich, the company's founder, asked me to join the company and transition to the business side of the house by leading the company's acquisitions efforts, and that was almost 14 years ago. I was very fortunate during my time at the company to work with a very talented group of people that allowed me to learn the business side of the industry. And as I transitioned through various business roles at the company, I always relied on my legal experience. Most business decisions have a risk reward decision making process. And as a business person, I continue to pursue the rewards, but my legal background helps me thoughtfully balance the risk.
Um, Brian, many UCLA and Anderson graduates work in the real estate development industry, and this will continue to be a popular profession. Are there some pointers that you could share with those who are focused on moving into leadership roles within this industry?
Yeah, I would say there are probably three things that I would suggest. One is, if you found a company, hopefully that you believe in their mission and their purpose, that you volunteer for projects at the company, because I think it will be a reward. People will recognize the fact that you're volunteering. And if they don't, at least you're going to get is the experience of the opportunity. So volunteer for projects as they come up. Also, find a good mentor that you can learn from and who will be your advocate when discussions about advancement arise. It's very important to have a good mentor to learn from, but also someone who can be your advocate. And I think the last piece would be patient and recognize that repetitions will turn into valuable experience.
Those are excellent tips, Brian. And to wrap up, as we look at the future of real estate development in general across greater Los Angeles over the next 5 to 10 years, what do you believe are some of the key trends that we'll see?
Yeah, I would pay attention to kind of two asset classes. One is multifamily residential projects. I think they will continue to be an important asset class in supply constrained Southern California. And if you have the gumption to stick to it, I think it'll be very rewarding if you pursue multifamily. Second is, I would say, pay attention to destination retail. With destination retail are places with unique experiences where people want to shop and play. For instance, we're working on the West Harbor project in the South Bay, and we're looking to bring that destination retail type project to the South Bay where it's really needed.
Got it. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode, Brian. Thanks again for taking out so much time to be with us.
Thanks, Seth, for reaching out, and appreciate all you do for the podcast.
Of course, and thanks to our viewers for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode of the Forecast in 5.